Hey everybody, just a Mongol here. They're doing a deck profile on Odion. We're playing the pure variant today. Relatively recently, as the time of recording this, about a week or two ago, the Primate Odion deck won a YCS Lima. It was really cool watching that on stream. I'm playing a pure build today. I'll probably be making a Primate build sometime in the future, my own take on it, because I do think it's pretty interesting enough. Anyway, getting to this build, we're on 3 copies of Man with a Mark, 2 copies of Anubis, the 1 Merciless Circuit. We're playing 3 copies of Treasures, the 1 Terraforming, the 1 Temple. We're on 2 copies of Apophis the Serpent, 3 copies of Apophis the Swamp Deity, and the 1 copy of Verdict of Anubis. This is pretty much it for our man package here. There's not a lot going for it. A lot of these cards, we're trying to play cards that can combo off of themselves. So cards that are pretty much 1-card starters here are Man, Anubis, Treasures, Terraforming here. We have our win more cards, technically, like the Circuit, the Temple, the Traps here. However, the Traps are an integral part of the game plan, and also these Traps are fucking insane. A lot of our interaction here is going to be in the back row rather than the front row here. As you'll see later on, we're playing a lot of back row stuff here. But I'm pretty happy with these ratios. The only thing that I could consider maybe dropping is maybe like a Temple, maybe Circuit. They aren't particularly as useful. However, they really are interesting in the grind game on the fact they just let you go for more shit, pretty much. Moving on to non-engine, we're on 2 copies of Extravagance, the 1 Prosperity here. We're not really using the extra deck a whole ton, so that means that our extra deck is pretty ripe for the picking for Extrav and Prosp. We're playing the 1 call by. We're playing 3 copies of Super Polymerization. Again, we don't use the extra deck very much, so we have plenty of space. We also play 3 copies of Evenly. So we're playing pretty much 6 breakers here. Nothing crazy there. Moving on to hand traps. I'm on 3 copies of Ghost Spell. I think this is more impactful than Ash Blossom, in my opinion, as of currently. This just hits a bunch of different things. I'm not playing a ton of things that turn on K9, other than the Anubis and, of course, the Bell here, as I want to play into K9 as little as possible. We're also playing 3 copies of Infirm. We're playing 3 copies of Songs, the 3 copies of Purge, the 1 Spiral, and the 1 Impulse. I'm actually playing 41 cards to fit the 1 Spiral in, and it's fine. Ideally, you don't want to activate the Impulse from hand, because then you're locked out of all the Earth cards. Spiral's fine. I don't particularly think Spiral is an amazing card. It has the same criteria as like a K9 card, which is fine. So it does come up, I just don't particularly like Spiral all that much. I think it's perfectly fine at 1. I like these 2 at 1, just being able to search them off of songs. As their targets here are Purge, Spiral, and Impulse here. I think this hand trap package is pretty good. I like how you can also set them in back row and just kind of play them like that. I do quite like that. Moving on to extra deck. I'm on 2 copies of Divine Serpent Apophis. This guy's pretty cool in the fact that you can just summon them by attributing 2 Apophis spell traps in your monster zone. And he can also target up to 3 Apophis traps engraved to reset them. Also, if a trap monster is summoned to the field, then you get to pop a card in field. These are all soft once per turns, which is pretty goddamn nice. Also playing Garura, we're playing the Mud Dragon, the Plant. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, the guy that takes 3 dark monsters to make. And then the 1 Secretarian Dragon. They're pretty much our super poly targets here, just 4 targets. Could play more, could play less, depends. Xyz, worn by Gusko, we're on Gallant Granite and the Sky Crisis. Gallant is literally here just for a side deck card. Links are on 2 Link Spider, 2 Solo Hats, SP, and then we're on the 1 BLS. Actually wasn't access code for a while, but you do lose out on the fact that sometimes you just can't get a link engrave. Like sometimes you'll banish like almost all your links and just have an access code, and then it just won't have the benefit. It's also a dark as well, which does kind of suck on the fact that, I think Purge, Purge, I think, locks you out of darks or something like that. So we play an Earth here, so that way we're not locked out of doing shit. It's pretty much your OTK enabler. It's not amazing, but it does its job decently enough. Side deck is pretty much tinkered to my locals for most part. We're on 3 Retaliating Sea, we're on 2 Contact Sea, we're on the 1 Lord. So the theory behind this is you play this going first, because you can search it with the Gallant Granite very easily. Then you can just set any Floodgate pretty much, especially if you have treasures on the field, or Temple of the Kings on the field, then you can just activate it immediately. This card's pretty goddamn broken going first. This deck already is pretty good going first, but sometimes like your opponent would just like have a blowout card or something, you just can't really do anything to it. This pretty much just lets you set any annoying Floodgate card. We're on 2 Thrust, 1 Duster, Judgment, D-Barrier, DDG, or Karmic Cannon, Soul Drain, and the 1 Mind Drain. These are all the annoying little cards that we can pick up here. Some pretty generic stuff here. This is pretty much like for Yummy Hate, is what this one's specifically for. This one here is for the Lunalight matchups. These two are just kind of like whatever. They come up decently enough to where I keep them in. But yeah, I really don't have many complaints about the deck. My only complaint is that it does kind of brick sometimes, because you are playing like 14 hand traps, but you are playing a decent bit of draw power, a decent amount of 1-card starters, so I'm not too concerned about it. And also a lot of our traps, just like, I've had games where I've drawn like 5 hand traps and just going first and just not let the opponent play, and then I just top deck a playable card or something. It doesn't happen all the time, but like it happens enough to where I'm fine with it. But yeah, that's the list. Anyway, thanks for watching. Yeet.